Morning, Abotai. Some pertinent halachot for Erev Rosh Hashanah and Yom Tov itself. We spoke about obviously not to forget to make an Eruv Tavshilin today. We spoke about that a person who is just reheating food on Friday, Yom Tov, for Shabbat, does not make an Eruv Tavshilin with a beracha. You can still make an Eruv Tavshilin, but no beracha because you're not actually cooking. There's actually one exception to that, which is very important. If a person is reheating on Friday a food that is a majority liquid, even if it's just reheating, let's say a soup or something with a lot of sauce or whatever it is, and you're putting that on the plata on Friday for Shabbat, don't forget, according to halacha, what's that called? That's cooking. So that would require an Eruv Tavshilin bibracha. You'd have to make a bracha if you plan on doing it. If you're just reheating solid foods, or food that is majority solid and just a minority liquid, so the halacha is over there, you'd make an Eruv Tavshilin without a beracha. But if you're reheating liquids, over there, that's mamash like cooking, and you'd make an Eruv Tavshilin as usual with a beracha. Don't forget that the Eruv Tavshilin has to remain intact until you're done all of your cooking for Shabbat, which means if the Eruv is still intact, you can still cook on Friday for Shabbat. If the Eruv was eaten, you cannot. So you have to make sure that it stays somewhere safe. The minhag, that's why we said, is to keep it and eat it for one of the Sa'udot of Shabbat. Now, another very poignant question that comes up a lot, especially during 3-day Yom Tovs. Unlike Shabbat, where many people, some do, but many people don't have their non-Jewish help on Shabbatot. Some do. But many people, especially on Yom Tov, especially on 3-day Yom Tovs, will have some form of non-Jewish help in the house. And the question becomes, what can they do and what can they not do, especially on a 3-day Yom Tov? So here it is. Here's clarity on that. Now, can I let the non-Jewish help do, I'm not telling her anything. Can she do laundry on Yom Tov? And the answer to that is it's absolutely forbidden. Not only to tell her, but even to allow her. And if you see her doing it, you have to stop her or him from doing the laundry on Yom Tov. The rule is, with regards to both Shabbat and Yom Tov, if you have non-Jewish help, the halacha is, they can only do for you what is mutar for you to do for yourself. Okay? With a few exceptions. Meaning, you cannot have them do melachot for you that are asur for you to do on Shabbat or Yom Tov. Therefore, they can set the table, they can clean up the table, they can take out the garbage, they can do all the things that you yourself would be able to do. It is mutar to have a non-Jew do for you as well. But to have them do melacha, turn this on, now Yom Tov is a little bit different, like we spoke about the other day, whereas on Shabbat, you're not allowed to ask the goy, turn on the light, turn off the light. Yom Tov, when electricity and fire is only midrabanan, if there's a great need to do so, or mitzvah, you're allowed to ask the goy to turn on whatever it is, whether it's a light, or a candle, or an oven, like we spoke about yesterday. Now, what about cleaning? Okay, as follows. Laundry, we said, is off the table. There's another rule. If a goy wants to do a melacha, I didn't tell him to do it. I gave him instructions to have a certain task completed. And I give the goy, or the goy himself, or herself, has two options to do it. In a permissible way versus a forbidden way. For instance, I tell the goy to wash dishes. Washing dishes on Shabbat or Yom Tov is permissible. The only thing is, what about hot water? That might be a little bit more of an issue. But the goy can choose to use hot water or cold water. I didn't say to use hot water. She chooses herself to use the hot water on Shabbat or Yom Tov, mutar. Using a sponge, a regular sponge on Shabbat to do dishes is asur. If I have an option of a kosher sponge, they make sponges that are appropriate for use with hashgachot on Shabbat or Yom Tov. I didn't say do the dishes, and she chooses on her own to use the regular sponge, mutar, because once again she's doing it on her own to make her own life easier. You are allowed, although for us, washing an entire floor on Shabbat or Yom Tov is asur, without going too much into detail. Having a goy do that is mutar. If I give them a permissible option, a permissible alternative of washing the floor that doesn't include mopping or squeezing, whatever it is. For instance, if you have a sponge or whatever, say, clean the floor. She wants to sweep, she wants to mop, whatever it is, and she does her regular thing, you're allowed to let her continue to do this on Yom Tov. That is the general rule. Again, I can't speak about all of the examples, but there's the rule. Employ that rule to any specific situation. I want to wish you all a k'tiva v'chatima tova, tizkun shem rabot, ne'imot v'tovot, shana tova m'borechet.